Hi and welcome to a book review by me, Sarah, from craftsofTexture.com, a blog about wool, lifestyle and fashion. Today I want to review the little book of Craftism by Sarah Corbett. This is a really fun little book that talks about being being an activist, but in a craft form. It also sort of gives you hints and tips on how you can get your ideas for world change across in your crafts. Sarah has long been an activist, but it was back, I think, in the early part of the 2000s where she decided to join that up with her crafts and start her own form of craftism. I'm going to read a small part of the introduction by Sarah and then just give you a little bit of information about what you can find in the book and where you can find it. Okay, so Heart, Head and Hands, an introduction. My name is Sarah. I've always been an activist. But 4 years ago I was a burnt out activist and was actually thinking whether I would give up fighting for a better world. I've always been passionate about challenging injustices. Growing up in a low income area of Liverpool in the 1980s, my parents raised me in the world of activism. There are photos of me aged 5 holding a beaker of juice alongside protesters trying to save good local housing from demolition. At school I was voted head girl and successfully campaigned for lockers so that pupils would not have to carry heavy bags from lesson to lesson. At university I was active in numerous campaign groups, and as an adult I've been fortunate enough to work with various international charities in their youth and community programmes and campaign departments. However, in 2008 I found myself feeling discouraged and exhausted. Shouting and marching drained me. I didn't like demonising people and telling them what to do. I didn't feel that I fitted into some activist groups. Around the same time I started a cross stitch as a hobby, which I loved. It gave me time to reflect and be creative in a meditative way. Then something clicked and I saw how through craft I can engage myself and others in global issues in a non-threatening and deeply engaging way. I put my craft and activism together and became a craftivist. It's a really nice little book. It goes through not only some of her own work, where she uses cross stitch to, I guess, sort of cross stitch bomb places, if you like, in the same way that us woolly folk would yarn bomb. And she puts messages to people, really, not to anyone in particular, but just sort of raises issues and gives you points to think about, really. And I think it's a really nice way of putting yourself out there and your ideas and campaigning, really. So she gives you lots of different ideas in there. That's another close-up of her work. It's very much an art form, if you ask me. And she gives you ideas for different projects, so from key rings to cross stitches. She gives you some instructions on how to cross stitch, some things that you should think about, and then also details of people who helped you know, sort of bring the book together, and her thoughts and charity ideas and so on. So do have a look for Sarah's book. You can find it in her Etsy shop, which I will flash along the bottom here, and I think you can find it online in other places as well, so do check that out. It sells in the UK for £5.99, so it's a very reasonable book, and I think definitely one to look out for and to read. So thanks very much, Sarah, for signing my copy as well. and I look forward to coming up with some ideas and maybe doing a few yarn bombs. I think it helps. So I'm also in the review on craftsofTexture.com for this particular book. I'm going to also link to some yarn bomb blogs and things, just so that for those of you who, like me, are more woolly minded, then it will give you some ideas and hopefully some pointers in ways that you might be able to take your own form of craftism out there. Okay, so check that out at craftsofTexture.com. Okay, cheers guys.